So we got another issue, and what's funny is we were gonna record last week. Because I was genuinely excited about
Mhm.
like Absolute Flash, and just we had something else to talk about too. But I think it was
I think
mostly
it was all
Absolute
in
Flash,
general.
all in general. Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of gone by now, where it's like I don't think we really need to go in all in on
I mean, we
all
could
in.
because Comic Con they did a bunch of concept art drops yesterday.
That's true. Yeah. Well, we'll still chat about it, but I I just want to kind of start off with saying like this issue, I feel like a lot of the stuff that Spurrier has been doing, I feel like we got some answers finally. And I think
Yeah.
with there's that image of like showing the tick on what looks like a bison to
Hmm.
kind of show how the
Like,
speed force
yeah,
or how to describe it, kind of saying that the speedsters are like ticks
yeah,
feeding
like
off
leeching
of
off
something
of it.
that's not theirs. Yeah. I really like that. I like the visuals. I thought the art in this was really good from Ramon Perez.
Yeah, it
Um,
was. I think it was the best art he's done for this so far.
yeah, but
Um,
I really feel like now, and one of our theories was true that was it the resident? Is that what she was called? The
yeah,
womanly.
yeah, that
That's
resonates.
some
Yeah,
kind of
like aspect of Linda.
aspect of Linda. Yeah, she's projecting into there. Um, I like this issue, man. I
The
feel like
and
they're
okay,
finally getting
I
somewhere.
I remember saying last issue that I did not like it.
Mm.
This I It's weird because I feel like if I end up reading this like binge reading it, I think I will probably enjoy it more. But
Absolutely.
this issue is so like exposition heavy because it's basically him finally explaining to you like what the rogue like why like what the purpose for the rogues were, like why Linda's been acting the way that she's been acting, and it kind of gives you an explanation as to why the Speed Force is like what's going on. It's it's very like meta narrative, which I think we've kind of come to expect. But like I almost feel like it's him saying like the Speed Force is so out of whack because Wally and everything else is so out of whack. You
Yeah.
know, like, and I think the one thing that's been at least like coming off of like the more iconic Flash runs, like with Wade or Johns or even Adams more recently, like I feel like the focus for like why it works and why he's a hero and why he's like become like the Flash is because of like his connection to others, his relationships, like the love he has for the people he cares about. And I this is such a wordy and like just dragged out way to say all that, but I think he kind of gets the point across now. So it's good. I like it. It's just a lot of words and it took us forever to get there. And
Like if this was a 12 issue miniseries, like it'd be
yeah,
like, what? you know?
yeah,
But I think I really think that this needed time to marinate big time.
yeah,
The concepts, and I feel like we're finally getting the payoff of these concepts. And I love how everyone's together. Like as I was reading it, like seeing everyone in the room, like seeing
yeah,
Pilgrim, seeing Linda, everyone in the room, and then Wally's in this other plane. I'm like,
yeah.
here we go. This is where it's really going to kick off, And I still feel like the way they're retooling Jai, like he's kind of taking on a Franklin Richards kind of role.
Yeah.
I like
It's
it, but
okay.
I'm
I
just kind of sick of Jai being like
Yeah,
everyone like every writer has a different
like role
purpose
for him.
for Jai every time, And I'm like, oh, I liked what Adams was doing with like him having the name like Surge. I felt like, all
Yeah.
right, we were getting to a point where like the Flash family felt like the Fantastic
Which is
Four. It
why
was
I'm
simple
really
them.
hoping that like that Adams and Travis Mercer like a Young Justice or whatever that book is going to be. Like I hope that actually ends up coming out at some point. Did you see the you saw the art for that, right?
Yeah, but I think that I don't think that's ever going to come out. I don't think
I
I think they said I think
pitched
it
it and then it never.
got pitched, but they didn't do it. And I
If I see Jeremy Adams again at any point this year at a convention, I'll ask him.
You know what was kind of crazy was the guys I work with like at Covenant Comics.
Mhm.
I unfortunately couldn't go. I actually wanted to go to San Diego, but I couldn't go down.
Shop owners there right now, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
He's been sending me pictures the last 2 days, and I'm just makes me mad.
But they were telling me that they were sitting at their booth and like they were like, we saw Jeremy Adams, but the guy next to them like talked his ear off. So they were like, oh, like, and I was telling them too. I was like, I've had Jeremy Adams on the channel a couple times. He knows who
Mhm.
I am. Like we've talked enough. Like just name drop me. You know what I mean? Not to
Yeah,
like but he knows who I am. Like I go in his live and he sees me. It's funny.
yeah.
So,
That's
but
what I'm hoping. Like if he goes to like Fan Expo San Francisco again this year, that I'll get to like check in with him and see how he's doing and see what he's been up to.
yeah, and just I mean he just always tell him be like, oh, I do videos of Drew. Like he
Yeah,
knows. Like he'll
yeah.
literally when I'm in the live, he's like, oh,
Okay,
check out Drew's
I
channel.
said that to him the first time I met him.
Oh, you did?
I was like, you know JD and Drew, right? And he's like, oh yeah, I was like, I love those guys. And I was like, all right, cool. I said those are my guys, man.
Yeah. No, it's awesome, man. Like
He's cool.
cool creator, cool
Yeah,
creator.
no,
I wish
definitely.
more
He's yeah,
creators were like him.
yeah, super down to earth, humble guy. He just likes writing comics, man. He just likes superheroes.
He likes talking comics too. Like, he could just
Yeah,
talk the whole
we
time.
and it's so funny because I had like 15 books for him to sign. So we're just sitting there chatting between books and like geeking out over variants and stuff.
That's
Because
awesome.
okay, like
Yeah. So
go
what
ahead.
else did you think of this issue? What were your thoughts? I
I
kind of
read
gave my spiel. So
Yeah, okay. I think the thing that sticks out to me the most is them Spurrier's like kind of like hand waving the forces in a way with this. He's
bringing them
saying,
back, kind of
yeah, he
connecting
says
them a
like
little more.
he's
Yeah.
like they might be different. He's like, but they're all the same thing. They're all of the Speed Force, and the Speed Force is just time.
Yeah.
Which I guess kind of, which makes sense because the Speed Force has kind of been connected to hyper time for some time now, and all these other concepts. So it works. It works for this story, I think, and at
Yeah.
least we're putting to bed the forces. It seems like because that's been like my least favorite addition to Flash mythos in the last 10 years.
Well, I was so excited just and I fell for it. Like I was hyped. I was like, "Oh, this is just like Green Lantern with Jeff." And it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, and that was me too. Like at
it
first,
had
I was like, "This is pretty
potential.
cool."
It had potential. And I think it still does, but it's like and I hate because now when I think of those forces, I just think about how they went away and also that the TV show picked it up and it was still like not it was so premature as of a
Yeah,
concept that it just really showed in the writing for that. It was like they didn't even know what
yeah,
they were doing
and
with
like,
it. So
and I feel like the other thing that kind of worked like towards its detriment was you had like 2 or 3 issue arcs for each one of those things, and it was just Black Flash is coming to collect at the
yeah.
end of it all, basically. And I'm like, well, that's not like that kind of like kneecaps it because I feel like given the opportunity, some of those avatars of those forces like could have been like pretty established by the end of that run, but they don't really last at all. It's just kind of they're there and they're gone.
Yeah.
So it's lame. But that was like part of my one of my bigger problems with it is it was just kind of like it came and went. The concepts weren't really that like fleshed out more than whatever he did. So it was just kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
Mm.
I just realized I think my mic is coming through. Oh no, it's coming through here. Thought it was going through my AirPods. I thought
I
could you hear my like I'm taking like sips of my drink?
No.
Okay, good. Super
I,
unprofessional, but it's whatever. That's the thing I like about these videos, and I was telling someone the other day, like they're so raw, like they're literally
yeah,
just the footage and just a thumbnail. So,
yeah.
but
And that's funny because that's how like Ryan and I have been doing it too. Like I don't know, like editing it and doctoring it up is cool, but I just feel like I just like the whole conversation kind of stuff.
well, like I don't care. Like if I get like 50 views on it, like that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Like if someone DMs me or comments about it, like
Right.
that's what I want. You know what I mean? Like I want the discussion of it. Like because like that's what the whole reason why like we do stuff like this and like have like accounts is just to
Yeah.
like have conversations. That's how I know you. That's how like we're friends with JD. Like we like the
Yeah.
same comics,
It's like I guess for like for the sake of this tangent, like it's funny how that kind of happened because I remember I remember being on Instagram for a long time and not really ever like having like that big of like following all the artists or all the writers. Like I wasn't super active on social media other than to just post like mainly lifting videos because I was just
Yeah,
like
that was the same way. Just
literally
lifting
lifting
videos.
all day every day. Like I was just putting up like 3 to 4 squat bench deadlift videos a week. You know what I mean? Like so that's all I was doing. And and then I was just like I got to the point where I was just reading so much comics like every single week that I was like I just need to talk to anybody about this.
Yeah,
And then I
absolutely.
came across a post of JD's and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." Like I didn't realize that like comic book accounts were a thing on Instagram, I didn't really like that was never something that crossed my mind. So
Oh
then
yeah.
like it was JD and then it was like Hunter and then it was like all the other like big accounts around that time. And then like it just kind of went from there. And then I remember like replying to some of JD's stories here and there. And then like we would chat. And then I think the first time we really had like a conversation was when we were talking about like he was talking about like wanting to learn more about key issues and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I already been like key hunting like a madman like years before that. So like we were just chatting about that. And then he ended up buying Hunter had a copy of the What If number 10, that What If Jane Foster became Thor.
Yep.
That his it was my copy. He JD bought it. Yeah.
Really? Oh
Oh
wow, that's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So that's
Wow.
kind of how like we got connected and then we just kept chatting and then he put me in the comic book the hunters group
Oh
where we
yeah.
were doing that for
Damn.
a while. And
That's
then
gone now.
I just made I made my account and then it's just been kind of ever since and then we
Yeah.
met.
Damn.
It
That's
was cool,
funny.
man. It's cool, yeah. And now I just like I'm the laziest fucking dude on Instagram when it comes to posting.
I only post when I do a video like this. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
like
I
at least like like that's like you've like maintained that. But for me, I'm just like every week I'm posting something or I used to be. Now I'm just like okay, I'll
well,
get to it
hey,
when I get
at
to it.
least I put you in as a collaborator too, so it's kind of
Yeah,
gives you
I'll
it gives
take
you a
it.
free post.
Bumps up my post. That's right.
I knew you're gonna love that too. I was like, I'm gonna put him as a collaborator. Give him a
It's like
post.
man, it's like helping me out, doing me a
Yeah.
solid. Uh,
But
I
yeah,
really did. Go ahead.
what would you say?
I said, well, I was gonna like get back to the issue. Like the other thing I didn't like about it,
Yeah,
I, the rogues feel so wasted, man.
I
Like,
know.
what did they really
I
do?
it was
They were
crazy
just
because
sleepy for
like
like 2 issues.
on one page they like were just like yeah, we built them up just to like take it away from him. And like
Yeah,
when I saw like the folded man, like he was like
yeah, just
homeless.
folding the origami cranes. Yeah, I was
I
like,
was
damn.
like, damn. And part of me kind of likes that. I kind of like it because it's like,
I like the outcome of like where they ended up, but it's just like they feel like such a waste after them being like in and out of this book.
ugh, it's
You
like think
know?
about the time to like the issues and the discussion. Like
Yeah.
I feel like if I went back and listened to how we were talking about them, like over analyzing it, I'd be like, if you told me back then that they were just gonna like
Like
strip it
one
away
panel
in one
deaths or
page,
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah. I was like, oh,
because we were thinking like, what if they're connected to? Yeah, it's like, oh my God, like, but I kind of like it though. I like it.
yeah,
I think it adds more to it because it's like, oh, whatever, this being, whatever it is,
yeah.
doesn't care. Like literally just use them. And I think that's great because
The other thing, go ahead. Sorry.
it's making it interesting, but I'm still
Yeah.
wondering because it seems like Thawne still has a part to play with this or these other versions of Thawne.
Yeah, that's what that was literally I was about to get to that. Like, because you have him running from the stillness because they're like, kill us, man. Like they're like begging almost like begging the archangels to just like get rid of him at closer to the end, you know.
Mm.
And and it's like, is it weird? Because it's weird to like right because like these stillness characters, I feel like every time we've seen them, they've kind of been like explained differently. Like, or am I wrong? Like, does that?
I don't, I mean,
I'm
it's
trying to
very
find the
vague.
page.
Every time they've been brought up, it's been very vague. And I feel like because of that, like when we've talked about them, it's very like hard to like because I feel like sometimes it's like, are these the archangels? You know?
Okay, so like with because I remember. like in the like when they first showed up, it appeared that they were like looking for the arc angle, and like, oh, they were like obsessed with it. You know what I mean? They were like enamored by it, like they were just looking to like acquire it or whatever.
Yeah.
But by this point, it's kind of explained that they were the first ones to undergo some kind of transformation by the Speed Force, the deep change. So,
Right.
like, is that what Wally's approaching? Is that the new form we're going to see in issue 14? Is him going through the deep change?
Yeah.
And if it is, why all of a sudden, other than them wanting to just die, and then the Archangel saying, "We'll give you that because you've been running around for us forever and mapping things out, and we'll give you that if you just capture him." But it was weird because they kind of seemed like they were like not really helping him, but not really like antagonistic against him either.
Right.
So that, and then when they showed up in like what issue 6, or when he like burns them out, that's kind of the first time we see him like against Wally. But even then, it's kind of like they're just observing.
Yeah.
So
I was
it's
thinking about the stillness. I just put them up. I
yeah,
get like confused with like the stillness and like the arc angles because like I see these guys and I'm like, all right, this is the stillness. Which
yeah,
is funny because even like League of Comic Geeks, like they don't even have them on here. Is anything like
listed on there.
yeah. So it's like, but if you go to the and I like these covers, but yeah, the stillness
Yeah.
characters from well. But
And then it kind of wraps up. You get that uh moment where he's just running and they can't keep up, and then he launches the. So like I'm still confused as to what this is. Is this kind of like, are the Thawns meant to be like a virus that he's like shooting into the Speed Force and it's gonna kill it because that's what their grand plan is, to kill time? Like, is that what Thawne it like how is like, help me make it make sense, I guess, because
yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. Like, I don't know what that means. Like, because he clearly fired something off in the last page.
Well, I feel like they're manipulating him.
Yeah,
I really think Wally is going to we're gonna go back to so what he's doing, he's gonna damage the Speed Force, I think. That's my prediction.
yeah.
And I think he'll come back, and since he won't have any memories of anybody, I think there's gonna be some kind of fight, and they're gonna be like, "What do we do?" You know, I'm
Oh,
curious.
like, so okay, so you think that he's gonna be like have amnesia when he comes back from it?
Well, yeah, I think he is like forgetting like who he is, what he's doing. Like
Well,
he's just like,
which I guess if they don't really, if the Linda and Resident thing doesn't go the way that we think it will, where like they help him like bring him out of it and he remembers, then I would actually be interested in seeing what Spurrier would do with Wally, who has amnesia, like with a version of him that doesn't really remember anybody but has undergone this change. So I don't know.
yeah, and it part of me like uh, it makes me think about like Ignition. Remember, like after Blitz, Wally like forgot that he was the Flash and kind of like
Yeah,
I wonder if like this new costume that he's wearing is gonna set up like something kind of new. Like
yeah,
I think I think they're gonna do something where like the status quo of like the Flash and how the Flash operates in comparison to other speedsters, I think is going to be very different.
yeah. Yeah, I could
Be
see
like
that.
I don't know. That's my thought.
I mean,
I don't know.
I guess there's really only two ways to play it. You know, you either change the main your main, mantle character, whatever you want to call him, like your main version of the character that you're using right now. You change him enough so that he's different enough from everybody else that has a similar power set, or you kind of have to go through the trouble of changing everybody else,
Mm,
in small ways that kind, like, you end up like doing the Jai thing, but with everybody else. Otherwise, they all end up just speedsters. So maybe it's just a way for them to kind of just like you said, it's a shakeup.
yeah, shake it up, freshen up the character. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of moments in the Flash history that like I look back on fondly. It's like,
Yeah,
a couple one. big status quo shakeups like the Dark Flash saga, like I Walter West, I love that. It's one of my favorite stories in the 90s.
Was it
Very
one? Is it
underrated.
152? Right, with just the. It's
Yeah.
just like the. I love that cover so much, bro.
Yeah, I just got
I
that. I love that logo too. It's just so
I had Wade
it
sign
is.
it last year.
Oh, you did? Cool.
It's good.
I'm gonna meet Wade next month. Looking forward to it.
Next month we're at.
Terrificon, my local con.
Oh, are you okay? Are you gonna go to Baltimore this year?
When is it?
September 20th to the 22nd. I'm going on the 21st. That's Saturday.
I think I got a vacation blackout then. I don't think I'll be able to.
Ah,
I think JD's gonna go though. I was just talking to him.
we've
So
talked about it, and he's trying because
yeah,
he's like normally I'm busy, I got work and stuff, and
yeah.
I was like okay, I was like we'll see.
I
I was
know
like
he
it's
was he he was
awesome,
supposed
but
to he's supposed to come down for Terrificon, but he just told me that he can't, which I'm super bummed because we had it all
yeah.
planned out. He was trying to send me his Flash Jam, the
Oh
big things.
really?
He was gonna
Yeah,
send me that. I was like, dude, that's too much pressure, and I don't want to lug that thing around. Like, you're out of your mind. Like,
yeah. Like what happens if it goes missing? What do I do?
dude, and like that's a big piece of poster
That's
board. Like, I'm not
yeah,
carrying
that's
that around.
crazy, man.
Dude,
Uh,
if he sends me that shit, I'm keeping it, bro. You know,
hey, just say I'm gonna watch it while you're working, man. Don't worry, I'll take good care of it.
I'll take care of it. Yeah. Oh, how much? Like how much for it back?
It's like, how about this? I'll pay for the frame. We could call it even.
Yeah. Yeah. Or we'll we'll have shared custody of it. I'll invest in it. Maybe
Yeah, that's right.
I'll pay for a couple
For a couple
sketches,
sketches on it.
couple sketches on it. Dude. If JD's listening to this right now, dude, like let's make a deal. We'll set this up.
Hey, every
But
couple months, you guys can meet and give the
yeah,
handoff one parent to the other.
yeah, of course. But yeah,
Goodbye,
I
son.
don't.
I love you. Have a good couple of months with. Yeah.
But no, I mean, he was asking me too about this new costume, and like I can't really give an opinion. Like we saw like the Dan Mora
I
drawing of it
I
for
like it. It looks better than this because the Diodato one is yeah, not
yeah.
good. It's not that good.
I can't really I can't say anything yet. We don't have a good look at it, you
Right,
know?
because both poses have been kind of like this one. So it's
Yeah.
like you only see kind of the upper body, you don't really see the rest of it. But I guess that's a good transition. Justice League Unlimited. What an
Yeah, man.
announcement, bro.
I've been saying this for a long
Wait
time
Mora,
is
dude.
you do Justice League, Wade and Mora, but I've also been saying take the formula from Justice League Unlimited. And that's how you do a Justice League book. That's how you do
Yes,
a sustainable Justice League book. You put your
right.
best writer and your
Your
best
best artist.
artist, and you do that formula because you could have whatever characters you want. You give that book to Mark Wade, that's going to be a fucking banger, dude. That is going to be,
Every single month. It was so funny because like when uh when Titan started up, like for Dawn of DC, and they like said there's no Justice League, it's just like Titans, after Dark Crisis and whatnot. I remember telling Ryan, I'm like, watch, bro. I was like, it's either gonna be like Wade and Mora, or it's gonna be like some out of left field like Jason, like because we had just started to hear about like Jason Aaron and all that stuff like coming over to DC. And I was like, it's gonna be Jason Aaron on Justice League. I said it's gonna be one of those two. I said if it's not Jason Aaron, I would want it to be Philip Kennedy Johnson at the very least. But like
nah, I
the
think it's Mora, dude. I mean,
the
not
fact
Mora,
that it's Wade and
Wade.
Mora is literally the perfect possible combo I could have asked for.
And I just feel like, as much as I love World's Finest, and I'm kind of a little bummed that Mora is not going to be doing the art in that anymore, like this makes up for it.
Okay, I think it's ending
You think it's going to end?
because last time Mora and Wade were on a book and Mora left, Wade was only there for a few more issues, and then Josie Campbell took over on Shazam. So
In
I don't
in
know that it'll be Josie Campbell, but I also don't see him being able to juggle, you know, World's Finest every month and the Justice League title because like they're both pretty big, sprawling books. You know what I mean? Like they're both like it basically team books. But I would imagine that this is probably going to go to like 35. That would be my guess. We'll get like an easy, round 35.
Yeah, I could see it. I didn't even see this.
Because that's what, September?
Oh, I didn't see that either. Yeah. I don't even know who this is.
January, if they do, I mean, if they were to
I
do
mean,
35 issues, that would be January.
I guess I could kind of see the vision. You get someone that has a similar style, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but
No, I mean, the people have enjoyed Blue Beetle, and I think the art in that's been pretty good. I read the first couple issues. Yeah, he's not a bad artist.
like I see the vision. I think I could see the vision. I could see it.
Yeah,
No, I for sure.
I don't know. I just it's hard to imagine that he's gonna be so busy, like basically running the DC universe, that he's gonna do both books for long term. You know.
Not, to quote the hero story guys, I don't know who said it first, but we need more of him, you know.
Yeah, we do need more of him, dude. Uh,
Dude. It's crazy is because I feel like um it's wild to think that just like maybe 2 years ago, Dan Mora was like the artist on Detective Comics. Do you remember that? Were you reading Detective?
how many years ago
Just like 2 years ago.
was he? Did he do art on Detective?
Yeah, I'll show you right now.
Because okay, so the first time I ever saw Dan Mora's art was Once in Future.
Yeah, I that was like well, I knew about him, but
He had done a few flash covers for Williamson's run, like
yeah,
halfway through, and that was kind of like I guess my first introduction, but I also didn't realize that's who that was
right.
until
Yeah, so like this was Tomasi's last issue, which Tomasi's Detective run is great.
Mhm.
Um, but this was like Marco Tamaki and Dan Mora. This is some good shit too. This is good.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Like, and this, it's funny is if you go on my comic Instagram, I was making posts like saying like Detective Comics was the superior Batman book because
Yeah, more on art, dude.
Dan Mora on art, but like also like it had Huntress in it a lot,
Mhm.
and well, I'm trying to think what was going on in Batman at that point. I think it was
Joker War.
no, I think it was like Fear State.
You
It was when they had
probably.
Miracle Molly in it. I know that.
Oh,
It
okay.
was, but it was when Tynan's run was kind of getting a little stale. Like it was like, all right, this is ain't gonna last that long. This book I was like, I might drop Batman, just read Detective. I'm not even kidding. It was great, and like
Nice.
the
I'll
covers are
check it out.
awesome, man.
Yeah, the covers are looks pretty sick, man. Yeah,
Like if
I'll definitely give it a shot at some point.
yeah, like, and then they had, Victor Bogdanovic. You never seen his art?
Mm, if I saw it, I'll probably be able to. Name
I
isn't
think he,
really
I think he did covers. He did the interiors, but that was a Mora cover. This is a Mora issue
covers.
and
Yeah.
cover. But like, dude, look at this. Like, and this
Yeah,
logo too. Like this detective logo. This is when it was it.
those are some kick-ass covers, man.
This is no, it's still Dan Mora. Yeah, if I ever meet Dan Mora, I'm having him sign one of these.
Dude, okay, don't even get me started because I'm about to pull out everything that I would have him ever look at for me. I'll,
um,
I'll 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 drag a short box full of the entire Once and Future run, bro. Like I got no shame. I've got no shame.
man, wow, he did a lot of issues now that I'm looking at it. Like,
And
these
he's
are
been
all
doing
Mora
covers for a
issues.
long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird because like, have you read Klaus by him and Grant Morrison?
No, but I want to. I thought
Fire
about
book,
reading it.
bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely fire book, dude. Yeah. So like when that started versus like the last one shot they've done, which was like the last like couple years ago, um, the way that his art evolved over the course of that like for series in absolutely insane. Like the crazy, like some of the craziest evolution like you can see from an artist, like in literally like in real time.
Yeah.
Like, and then another book he did, Hexed, same thing. Like it was kind of around the same time Klaus started, and it was like 2015, 2014 maybe. But yeah, same thing. Like as the series went on, just got better and better and better and better. Then those books ended, and then he started Once and Future, and then his art just kept just elevated, man. And then it's still getting better. Every single time I look at something new, it just looks better.
Yeah. I know, dude.
Crazy.
He's like the new Jim Lee.
Uh-huh.
He's the new Jim Lee. But before we I want to talk about Absolute Flash.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think you know a little bit more than I do about it, but um real quick, like what's like your Mount Rushmore of comic writers? Because
Oh,
I was having this discussion with my dad earlier on the phone.
I'm an idiot. It's four or five, right? I can't think right now.
Yeah,
Right? Yes.
you do four if you want.
Because like I feel like I have one that's interchangeable depending on like Simonson is on there just because he's made my favorite character and his Thor run is still my favorite. Like it's just my favorite book ever. Like I don't think that'll ever change. Um,
For writers.
but that's what I mean. Like I mean
Yeah, oh yeah,
Simonson, like he just be and his Fantastic Four is good. So
yeah. I think of him as an artist all the time. I forget that he wrote a lot of stuff.
yeah, dude. And he wrote what the hell's that guy? God damn, what's his name? He's the new god. He rides around on the stupid cart. I can't remember his name. Orion. He did an Orion
Oh
book.
yeah, yeah.
He wrote that, and I think he drew that too. But yeah, so Simonson, uh, Ewing for sure. Um, Lemire, and then I feel like fourth spot would be like a toss up between Hickman and Gillen.
Damn. So I mean that's a good Mount Rushmore comic writers.
And I think part of what influences it is just how much indie stuff I've read. Because if it was strictly
Yeah.
superhero content, it would definitely be different.
Okay. Interesting. Um, Mine would probably be like Jeff Johns, Mark Wade.
Wait, okay. See, like
What?
this is where it gets hard
Yeah,
because like Wade is like right there too, and like he can
yeah.
switch out. Like giving me 4 or 5, and it's hard to choose. But like you give me like seven, we're good.
Well, like these are writers where like if they're doing a book, it's on my list. It's like it's on my radar. You know,
Yeah,
like I'm if I'm not going to read it right that moment, I'm going to remember it. And I'm going to read it soon. You know.
yeah.
So like for me, it's like Jeff Johns, Mark Wade, Grant Morrison, and then probably like Hickman and like Claremont. Because like
I mean, he's like
Claremont,
your X-Men guy, so
yeah, I'm a big X-Men guy, but like Claremont, like I'm also like kind of an X-Men purist where like, you know, you can't read any modern X-Men without having a basic understanding of like what Claremont did, like pave the
right,
way, you know, like every writer touches on something that Claremont either created or they're building off of that, you know.
right.
And I haven't really been reading a lot of the miniseries that he's done the last few years just because I'm like, I don't like stuff that's like in between little gaps, you know,
Yeah,
of like, but like Hickman, if Hickman's writing like a Marvel book, like I'm like, I'm reading that, you know,
yeah.
but
No,
uh,
it's good stuff, dude. Who else?
yeah, I mean, that's my five.
Oh yeah, that is your five.
That's my five. Yeah.
Who?
Um,
Uh, artists.
Artist. Oh, shoot. Put me on the spot.
Because
Um,
I think I've got my five locked in already. Um, Simonson, Mora, Assad Ribic, Gabriel Del and then Dustin Gwen.
yeah. I mean, I feel like mine is kind of like a hot take. Like there's some takes where people might be like, but like Jim Lee, like that's like he redefined like how Batman should look for the modern age, you know?
I mean, except for when his now commissions are costing $20,000.
No, but like Batman Hush, dude, like for like a story like that, like
Oh, it's like it's
he's
iconic. Like
like
he's a legend, you know?
no other artist can set the tone for a character, like aside from like maybe like Frank Miller when he did Dark Knight Returns, but even still,
Yeah.
these are hot takes, man. I'm telling you, these are hot takes.
Hey, no, I mean, not really. Everybody loves Jim Lee. I think a bigger hot take would be I don't think Jim Lee is really one of the best. You know, like, and I'm not saying that because I don't think his work is good, but like I've seen such a big decline for somebody that like I know can still really, really draw.
Yeah.
So like some of the work that he's put out for covers recently, I'm like, did Sinclair Williams finish that for you, and you were just like too lazy to finish it? Like because
Yeah.
you're too busy running DC or like or what? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's just some of the covers have been off. I don't know what it is.
But like other creator like Scott Collins, dude, like I love Scott Collins.
Scott
Like
Collins is heat, dude. Come on.
he like kind of a similar, I mean like dude like Jack Kirby, like he's another one
Yeah.
like
See,
Jack
okay.
Kirby.
Dead
But this
artist,
is
dead artist. Ah.
no, I know. Yeah, if we're talking about like modern, but like Jack Kirby, like you can't have a
Oh
Mount
no,
Rushmore
dude.
without him. He's the king. But like it's a tough. I feel like it's easier to talk writers than artists because there's so
Oh
many
yeah.
artists. But like and this is a hot take. So I might get shit from you. I'm probably gonna get shit for you right now, but like Rob Liefeld, I think it just showed like you can't like this is how far you should go. Like you can't go this far. You know what I mean? And I think that's important. I think it's important to recognize because
He
like
set like an industry low standard, and they're like, never go this far.
but like early Liefeld stuff was great, man. It was great.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of Liefeld, have you seen that video of him and McFarlane getting like torn apart by Stan?
Yeah, what is it the Comic
It's
Greats interview?
it's where the where he's like they're like drawing the overkill
Yeah.
and he's just like
Yeah.
ripping them apart. It's the funniest thing, bro. I love that video so much.
That's a classic. But oh man, art you
Okay,
can't I feel
Liefeld.
like artists, it's just like because if we're gonna be real with like artists, it's gonna be like if we're all time comic book like Mount Rushmore artists, it's like Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, John Romita, Carmine Infantino,
And I would even
and
argue John Buscema up there too.
John Buscema. Yeah, exactly. Like that's like if definitive all time greats, like
Yeah.
that's my Mount
Because
Rushmore.
I guess part of the luxury of going back and reading like all of like beginning of Silver Age Thor to where I'm at now is like you see like how that art evolved, and it's like Kirby for the first 100 issues or whatever, almost. But then you have Buscema who like kind of like does a few issues after that, and then he really starts to like cook, and it's like
Hmm.
some of his designs look really Kirby inspired, and I'm just like, it's crazy because we don't get that anymore. Like we don't get artists that are taking over on a book where they're like trying to like emulate or kind of like keep a lot of the similar feel to what was came before it. Right.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's just like, let's throw an artist on a book and see what happens. Like that's where Immortal Thor is at. Like we're getting a revolving door of artists on that book right now. I
Hmm.
still love it, but it's really, really dragging it down for a lot of people. Like so many people have dropped it because they're just sick of the art, which I get it.
Yeah.
It's serviceable art at best now. So it
Yeah.
sucks. We went from Martin Kokolo, who you fuckers get now on Wolverine.
Yeah. I all right. I love that little tangent because I feel like those are some hot takes. There's some good takes, but like there's too like you can't just give five artists because there's too
Yeah.
many like there's too many influential
That's
artists.
why top
in
10 lists are so popular, man.
Oh, CBR, yeah,
Ten's like the perfect number because it just gives you enough.
yeah. But so Absolute Flash, man. How do you feel about it? Are you? I mean, I'm excited. I think Jeff Lemire. I used to
If
work
I
with a guy. I
if I
actually
had
used
two
to work
extra
with
arms,
him.
it'd be four thumbs up, dude.
I used to work with a guy at you probably never even heard of it. It's like a grocery store chain, Big Y. But I used to work with a guy that worked night crew that like I would like leave work at like 10 and he'd be going in for work at like 9:30 to work night crew, and we would have our little comic discussion for a little bit. I'm like, I'm just trying to get out of here. And he would always just say like Jeff Lemire is the guy, dude. Like if you're
He's
reading a
bro.
series, like your favorite character and Jeff Lemire is writing, like you're gonna be eaten for months or years. And I'm
Yeah.
like, shit. And he was like, this guy was like the biggest Moon Knight fan.
Mhm.
Like he was like he read every issue of Moon Knight. And when they announced the Moon Knight show, I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to like this guy's commentary
Like
on like
yeah,
the
like yeah.
episodes every week. He got fired the week before the show came out.
No,
Yeah,
man.
I worked with
Oh.
this guy for 5 years, dude. I was like, what?
Oh
I didn't have his
no.
number or anything either. We
You're
got
like, I
fired.
quit. I can't take
Yeah.
it anymore.
Dude, but it was so
Oh,
it was like, man,
oh
all
man.
I just want to know what this guy thinks about Moon Knight right now. The show. Like a true fan of Moon Knight, someone that's read every issue, you know?
That's crazy, bro. It's that's
Wild.
so funny, man.
But he
That's crazy.
always just said like the Jeff Lemire run was like his favorite.
Yeah.
So
Dude. Okay. Because I'll have a list for you before we even are done recording of what Lemire stuff you should read. But like for Absolute Flash, clearly excited for Lemire. Like he's in my top five writers. I just read a bunch of stuff by him, and it's always delivered. Like I've never like walked away or like closed a Lemire book and been like that was bad. Like it's always been good or great or phenomenal. Like it's always been like a quality book no matter what.
mhm.
Um Nick Robles, he did a book, a 5 issue miniseries for Boom with Tate Bramble, who Tate Bramble wrote it, but it was called Behold Behemoth. I sent you a few pictures, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so like that was more of like a post-apocalyptic fantasy book, but just based off this art, man, I feel like it's gonna be good. Like because if you can really do some wacky stuff with the Speed Force and the stuff he was doing in Behold Behemoth was a little out there, it would be cool to see what his take is on like on one on the Flash costume, and two like what kind of like what his pages are going to look like when he's running or when he's traveling through the Speed Force or through dimensions or whatever it might be. Like if it's going to get weird, knowing and that's the other thing. Lemire is a dude, like he's a jack of all trades. Like he literally writes every genre. It could be slice of life from a city in Canada. It could be super depressing book about a kid who was murdered and ends up being like a mystery, like it, and it could be sci-fi, high concept fantasy, or both, or horror, or cosmic, eldritch horror, or hell, even like comedy books. Like the dude writes everything. So it's definitely going to be a solid book, I think.
We don't know anything really about the plot other than it's just gonna be Wally, right?
Just that it's Wally without Barry.
I wonder like if this is gonna be like one of those things. Well, obviously no Barry, far as we know. But I wonder if this is gonna be like
Because that, that
ah,
that's what Lemire said. Lemire said like he commented back to somebody on Instagram and said, "This is a Wally that does not have Barry. It's a teenage Wally that doesn't have him." And I think that works because especially if you're playing with this idea that all of these heroes are underdogs and they don't have like the hope of the main DC universe that makes them these like bright and shining heroes. What's the one thing that's been considered hope for Wally West? His uncle, Barry.
yeah,
Every
yeah,
single time the chips have been down, he's come back from the dead or from a different point in time to give him a pep talk and like, kick him in gear and he saves the day. What happens when you have a Wally West who gets powers, one, that was never inspired by his uncle, and two,
mm,
doesn't have him for those darkest moments where he can pull him out of it. I
yeah,
think that's a really cool concept to play with, and how are they going to replicate the accident that gave Wally his powers if you don't have a Barry?
mm,
So is it going to be like he's still a blue collar worker and he's like, or he's a mechanic and something like lightning strikes a vehicle and, you know, comic book magic, he has speed powers because it was a car engine that blew up in his face or some shit.
yeah.
Or, lightning hit his vehicle driving at 95 miles per hour, anything. And that's just a very
Yeah.
like out of my ass full
Oh
explanation.
yeah.
But it's like
I
anything is possible, I think.
I was thinking about like what my if this was me, whoa. I was thinking like Did you hear that just now?
I did not.
I was the ad just was blasting in my ears.
Oh shoot, yeah, I didn't hear anything.
But I was just trying to think of like my weird if this was me, what I would do, and I don't know if I won't share it on here, but like I was thinking some weird takes of like what I would do if this was me. But I feel like this, if you do a young Wally West, this would be a cool opportunity to do something like in the vein of like you take like that Flash year one suit, like what
Yeah.
Williamson did. You do
Mm.
something like that. Um, you take a blend of that and like Smallville Impulse Flash, and like what do you get? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
you could get something cool with that,
You
you
kind of
know?
get what he's wearing in the promo art, like the joggers fit and
Yeah.
everything.
Like I think this will be a cool kind of take for
Yeah,
that.
I'm it's weird, man. Okay, like I was so not looking forward to Spurrier's run when it started. And when it came, like when it before it even got here and when they announced it, I kind of resigned myself to the fact that this maybe I won't enjoy this Flash run, but at least I have one of my favorite writers writing my other favorite series. So I was
Mm.
willing to be like, I'll take a shot, and like kind of deal with it for now and then like get over it. But then this happened.
I
And it's like I'm on cloud nine, man. Like my two favorite books by two of my favorite writers. Like it's like this is the best timeline for me. I'm sorry that everybody else has to live in it.
well, I think it'll be cool. I think there'll be a good contrast between
Oh
the
yeah,
books.
no, it's gonna be a really good book. I
It gives us another thing to talk about too,
Yes,
you know. But
it's gonna be a good ass book. We'll definitely
yeah,
need to get JD on for the first issue of this. I don't care.
yeah.
We'll
No,
go we'll go
he wants to
kidnap him.
come on. He
We'll go
wants to come
kidnap
on.
him. We'll force him to do it.
Yeah, he I think I think they're recording a hero story tonight, but he wants
Yeah,
to come on. He wants to talk Flash
he needs to, man.
because no one else on there is reading Flash.
Yeah, well, it's funny because like I'll message him be like, "Hey, what were your thoughts on Flash?" And it'll be like a couple sentences. I'm like, "Dog, I need more. Like, give me more."
Yeah. No, we'll get him on here.
Yeah,
We'll get him on here for sure. We'll coordinate something.
yeah, definitely.
But
Did you see the other announcements? They weren't really announced yet, but they came along with all the other news about like GL and Martian Manhunter.
no, I didn't hear anything about that.
Okay,
No, I
so
didn't hear about
apparently,
like GL or Martian Manhunter.
they haven't shown anything in Comic Con yet for it, but Ewing is supposed to be doing Absolute Green Lantern.
Which that could be crazy.
So strap in, bro.
Two of my favorite, like my favorite, two of my favorite characters, Green Lantern and Flash. Like you have really good
You
writers on
surprised me,
them
bro.
on an alternate
Okay,
take. Yeah.
strap in, dude,
All right.
because it's been said by multiple people that Ewing's knowledge of the DC universe rivals Wade's.
Really?
Yeah, and I can't obviously I can't speak to the validity of that, but there are several like sources that have gone on record to say that this book is like going to be like a cosmic odyssey. It's going to be like an epic
Yeah.
because of him writing it. That it's going to be like a huge book.
Well, I
And
remember
then
like I only checked out a little bit of X-Men Red, but I was like, I remember thinking to
X-Men is
myself
fire.
that I'm like, this guy needs to be like doing something more cosmic, like in
Yeah, which
maybe
is
not
why like
X-Men.
I couldn't have asked. Like he was my go to after Cates' Thor. I was like, if it's not Ewing, then I don't know who it would be. And bam.
Mm, yep.
But and then Dennis Camp, the guy that's doing Ultimates,
He's doing Martian
he's
Manhunter.
doing yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be good.
Which that something about that seems like it'll be a mini series.
I hope not. Which is it's
Yeah.
kind of odd because we also haven't gotten like we're not getting an absolute Aquaman as of right now, which is kind of
Yeah.
weird. But I don't know.
We'll see. Well, just a couple books for now. Let's not
Yeah,
get
I
crazy here.
it's so funny because like my boss is at Comic Con right now,
Hmm.
and he's been picking up, but he picked up a few of the ash cans for Absolute Batman.
Oh, really?
Really, really want one. I really want one
Wow.
because it's all black and white, and I'm pretty sure the covers are foil, and he got them
Oh,
signed by
shit.
Snyder.
Oh, Snyder's
Yeah,
going to my local con
yeah.
too.
It's so funny because he hit me up. My boss like sent me pictures. He was at the Lunar Mixer, with Snyder and Aaron and Daniel Warren Johnson.
Hmm.
It's like hanging out with them. I was like, can you just stop sending me
Oh,
photos, bro? And he's like sending me pictures of all the exclusives, all the people he was meeting, all the books he was getting signed. Like he met Mirka Andolfo. She's an artist.
yeah.
And she did a Jubilee sketch for him. And then he went and got it signed by the voice actresses of Jubilee.
Oh, wow.
I was like, that's sick, man. I was like,
That's awesome.
and he's like, look what I got. Look who I met. Look what I got. Look, I'm like, stop it, please.
Does he know about the video, like the pod,
Yeah, he
both
does.
pods?
I just don't think that he really like
Yeah.
he's not as in like he's just busy running the shop. Like that's all he does. Like a
Yeah.
lot of the news like comes through me a lot of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Just
Like
chatting. Yeah.
yeah, like Void Rivals like has been going on like it'll hit 6 issues, then it'll go on like a couple months break. And he's like, where's the next issue of Void Rivals? How come it's not coming out? I said, dude, it's on a 3 month break. I said they're doing a hiatus for 3 months. He's
Yeah.
like, he's like, what? He's like, where do you learn this stuff? I said, dude, I'm just online.
Yeah. You
I
follow
said, I'm
comics.
like this. I'm like, this is what I breathe, bro.
It's
I
your
said,
medium.
whatever news, I said, run it by me. I got you. What else was there? From Salute.
Um, well, what I heard was like, because I wasn't really interested in the Absolute Superman book, but like it didn't
Yeah,
really sound interesting to me. But
that's the one I'm least interested in.
I, the one thing that is a little interesting is the fact that he's coming to Earth not as a baby.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, he's coming as like a teenager.
Uh,
Yeah, so that makes it a little more interesting. And I'm gonna read Batman, of course, but
yeah.
I'm
I
not
I
really sold on that concept yet. But I'm
I
gonna read it.
I like it. And I think I'm more excited for it only because of Dragata on art.
I just
Like
wish I just feel like Snyder said told everything he needed to tell for the
yeah,
character.
like and that's the one thing that's probably going to be keeping me from thinking like, wow, this is really good. It's just like he was the safe choice.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it was safe for them to choose Scott Snyder to lead this universe or to kind of like help be an architect because he's already done it for DC with their whole universe. But
yeah,
his Batman is hailed as like the best modern Batman book right now, like or at least last 20 some odd years.
yeah.
But yeah, I now Wonder Woman though, I am like 100% on board for that book, dude.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. I mean, I'll
I
definitely I'll check these all out, but
Yeah, I don't know. I've been reading a lot of Kelly Thompson stuff the last like year and a half.
it's a good
She's a
writer
good
to get on
writer.
that.
Yeah, she's a good writer. I mean, she has like the most Eisner nominations this year of anybody.
Really? Wow. How do you
Yeah,
know that?
she's got like over half a dozen books nominated right now.
I
Hella
haven't
good.
even I don't even know who's nominated truly. I haven't really cared about the Eisners in like
A
the last
lot
two
of them
years.
are kind of like left field nominations that I don't think like there are so many other titles that deserve spots up there that did not get them.
I didn't even know that Human Target won an Eisner until I was in line
Yeah.
waiting to meet Tom King and bought the trade at his line and had him sign it. And I was like, really like your Batman and Mr. Miracle. He was like, thanks. That was it.
He's gonna be at Baltimore this year.
Damn. There's
Every,
a lot of people there.
dude, hella people. Wade is gonna be there. The Simonsons are gonna be there. King is gonna be there. There's a whole. Like, I'm absolutely screwed. I'm 100% screwed.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, where's it at? This box right here. I don't know if you can see it. This is all potential convention takes for September.
Jeez. I maybe have like 5 books, if that.
Yeah,
No,
I'm totally boned, dude. Here, let's just pull out some of the zingers.
I don't know if you're a comedy guy at all, but like, so the same weekend of like my local con, Shane Gillis is also there.
Oh, really?
And I'm
Yeah, I know
like,
it is.
I want to see Shane Gillis, but I'm like, Terrificon, you know?
Yeah, yeah. That's like kind of the see, like obviously, like these are like a no brainer.
Yeah.
So like first Malekith and then the first 3 issues of his Thor. But and then I have like see like I even have books to take to Steve Epting because
Oh,
I
wow.
just one of my favorite books. I'm absolutely screwed, man. Like I've got 10, 12 for Simonson. If I was taking all of these, I'd have 37 for Wade. Too many.
Wow.
Like, okay, so I'm definitely because he did the that story in 800.
Yeah.
I had a commission done by an artist at a fan expo last year, and I had Adam sign it. So I think I'm just gonna have Wade sign this one too. But I like literally, I'm like stressing myself out. Like, what am I gonna take? Am I gonna take too much? Like, what do I do? Like, I
Yeah.
just gotta start thinking about it. And then my my wife is just like, yeah, she's like, you do realize that we have to pay for an extra bag for this. And I was like, I know. I was like, or I have to hold on to it. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
They're
You
coming
just
with us. I don't know what to say.
you'll hold them and you'll get like mylar like little cuts.
Oh, I know, right? It happens. It happens already all the time.
But hey man, this was great. I'm glad we talked about a lot of stuff. We covered a lot,
Yeah, we
but
did.
always good chatting with you and looking forward to the next time.
Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely. Um, when is the next Flash even out?
I can look real quick before we yeah, um
Where we thought it was gonna end.
where we thought it was gonna end. August 28th. That's the next time.
Dang, the whole month away.
Yeah. But yeah, man,
Sweet.
always great chatting with you. Oh,
Yeah,
and looking
definitely,
forward to
bro.
the next time. And
Yes,
yeah,
sir.